So I am going to measure the basketball. I do have a template already. I'm not sure if the sizes are correct. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to measure the slice of the basketball, and I have 1, 2, 3, 4 slices on each side, so I need to print out 8 images. So we are going to measure this top piece with the little corners and angles here, and that's going to be 1 inch. And I know my memory is not that great, so I should be writing these down. This here is 3.5, and the rounded end is, how are we gonna do this? Let's say the rounded end, we're gonna put it about 1 inch. So 1 inch, middle is 3.5, and end is 1 inch. So I am going to go into Affinity Designer and make my images. Hello. So now that I have gone through and measured the basketball, I'm now going to prepare and print out the images that I'm going to put on the basketball. So I am in Affinity Designer, and I already have a template that I had downloaded from someone else with the shape of those pieces. And what I'm going to do is I'm going to use Affinity Designer to create my own slices, double check the measurements, and then I'll be bringing the images in that I want to use to be able to put on the basketball. So again, first I'm going to get that image that I was looking for of the slices, and notice that it says it's 11 by 17. I didn't measure down the basketball, so just 1 minute. I'm going to stop and measure the length of that slice and come back to ensure that I have the appropriate measurements. Okay, I had to go get the basketball. So I'm back. So in the previous section of this demo, I measured across the top here. I measured the middle, and then I measured the little end here, but I did not measure the length of them. So here we have the length being about 13 inches. And I wonder if it's like that all the way around the ball. We're going to double check and see. So yeah, it seems to be like each slice is about 13 inches. I am going to create the images a little bigger. Well, this one looks to be about 13.5. I am going to be creating the images a little bigger with some bleed, so that if necessary and I need to cut something off, I can. So I'm probably going to do them about 13.5. I'm probably going to give at least 1/4 inch. I'll make the slices most likely 13.5. But for the pieces that I measured with 1 inch, 3.5, and 1 inch, I'm going to give them 1/4 inch bleed on each side. So I'm going to do that. So let's go ahead. I'm going to set this over here, and we can come back into Affinity Designer. So this is basically the shape of the basketball slice. We are doing this. I'm using 3G Jet Opaque dark transfer paper, and I'm going to be printing that with pigment ink on my Epson 1660, or excuse me, 16600 printer. It is a wide format printer. So let's go ahead, and now that I have this in here, I'm going to use the pen tool to basically get the shape of this. And what I'm doing is I'm just going to go around and select this. I will clean it up with curves in a moment. So I have the basic shape of the slice. Now I'm going to take each one of these nodes and curve it to kind of fit the slice. I select the node. I then go and make it a curved node. I select the node, make it a curved node. I could have also did this in Silhouette. Silhouette has the trace feature where it would have actually went and traced the shape, and I could have saved it and brought it into Affinity Designer and just used it from there. But I don't mind when it's just a few nodes that I'm messing with. I don't mind bringing it in here and making the changes myself. My hand isn't that steady a lot of times, but we'll kind of bring it out there. That's basically fine. And the last node here, we'll put in some . It's not going to be perfect, but it'll be close. Alright, so I have that shape there. I'm going to go select my move tool, and I'm going to put a border around this a little bigger than it is so that I can see it. Stroke is black, and I'm going to increase the width of the stroke for this. Over here you can see, here's the slice I just created. This is the original image. I really don't need that anymore, so I'm going to just press the delete key and get rid of it. So now I have this slice here, and there are 8 slices around the basketball, so I can just duplicate this. I'm probably, they go in different directions. So I am going to come over here, and I'm going to duplicate this by right clicking and selecting duplicate, and it's duplicated it. I thought I duplicated it. I did. My machine's moving a little slow here. So now I have 2 of these slices. I think I need to do 4 in one direction and 4 in another direction. I am going to try to use a 13 by 19 sheet of transfer paper so that I can put the image. Oh, let me drop that. So that I can put the image on more than one, or put it in more than one image on a sheet to try to conserve. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to check to see what my document size is here. And this here is an 11 by 17. I'm actually going to change this to be 13 by 19. And it's in portrait. So that if I position these correctly, when I go to use them, I can print out more than one. Because I said I'm probably going to have 4 in one direction and 4 in another direction, I'm actually going to come up here and flip this so it's that way. And so I'll have it there. Now I am going to go to Google and pull in some images, and I will be back as I start to place those images into the slices. Okay, I am going to check the size. I'm going to use my rulers here in Affinity Design, and we're going to put the top there, and I'm going to draw down another one to put it down here, just to see how long this is. So we're at 0 right here, and actually I should just put a line. I'm going to put a line here just to be on the safe side to see where we are. And we're going to put our 0 line there. So that's 0, and this is not quite. We actually want to be at 13.5 here to give us some additional room. So I'm going to take these images, and I should have just did one image and extended it and been done with it. But I am going to take these images and extend it. So that's 13.5, and I am actually going to do the same thing for determining how wide this is and how wide it is. So I'm going to put one there, and we're going to put another one here, and we're going to move oops, did I move something? Yeah, I did move something. So we had to put our, I'm gonna move 0 back to where it was. So pick up 0, move it back to here, and let's get our line back at 0. So there we are. I can get rid of this other line. I got too many lines on here. Alright, so that's our 0 line. That's our line at 13.5. And now I need to 0 this one. And now we are at 0, and the center was 3.5, so we're about 3.5 there. I actually want to move this over to like 4, because I want, and I'm turning my snapping off, I want to ensure that I have enough bleed on each side. And if I quit clicking and moving things, will be okay. So we're going to put that there, and I'll put that about there. And I'm going to whiten this to meet there. So it's a little less than 4 inches. For now, I'm going to delete this so I don't have to do work on both of these. Now that I have that at about 4, because it was originally 3.5 in the middle, I now want both of these bottoms to be about 1 inch. So I am just going to take this line here. I'm going to take the line and move it over to 1. And then I'm going to move this over. Well, actually, we're going to move it over to where it actually is. So that's about 1. And I need the other one to be at about 2, because they were about 1 inch wide, and that seems to be a little wider than 1 inch. So what are we at? Not too much more than 1 inch. I'm actually going to leave it where it is. So, and then this top part, I think I should be okay. It's about 1 inch too. That's about 1 inch. So I think I'm alright with my measurements. They're not exact, but they're good for now. So we're going to go ahead and move our little lines out the way that we were using to measure. And I'm going to go ahead and do a save. Under basketball demo, I'm going to go ahead and save this so that my hard work doesn't go in vain. We're going to name it B-ball demo template. and go ahead and save it. Now I'm going to actually I said that I was going to try to get as many images on one page as I could, but what I'm going to do is, just to see if I have my measurements right, I'm going to print out one of these on a 11 by 14 sheet. I think I have some. Do I have some 11 by 14? No, I don't have any 11 by 14 print and cut or printable vinyl. So I am going to actually set this up by 11 by 17, and then I'll print a couple of images out on it. We'll go ahead and right click and click them over here, right click and duplicate, and we'll print. I don't know if I'm gonna be able to get, I'm not gonna worry about it. So we'll print out 2, see what happens, and I'm going to take this one and turn it the opposite way. I'm gonna go ahead and print out 2, see what happens, and we'll go from there. So now I'm gonna go ahead and pull my images in. Pull a couple of images in. I'm gonna do one of LeBron. Since this is a basketball, we're gonna put LeBron in one of these. I don't want to stretch him out too much so he's distorted, but I'm gonna see what we can do here. So within Affinity Designer, I can actually put LeBron in the curve to see where he'll fall, and I can kind of make him smaller. I am going to have to probably add some color or something, add a box or some color to it so that he fills up the entire slice. So let's go ahead here, and we are going to just draw a box here, and I am going to take that box, and actually the box is showing up in the same place. I'm going to take that box and I am going to color it with the same color blue that is in the top of this, so that I can kind of merge it in. So we're going to get that blue there, and then we're going to take it and fill this image with the blue and just kind of put it there. And I actually can make the square smaller. I always find it hard for people to watch me or to record myself working, because I know I probably do some really quirky things. I'm going to go ahead and do a copy and paste of the same box, move it down here, but I'm actually going to make the box the same color as the uniform. So we'll go ahead and pick up one of these yellows and set that box to yellow. I'm going to go ahead and put it in there. I really don't like that, but the top worked out fine. You'll probably be able to see a little difference in the color, but let me see what I can do with this bottom here. What I'm going to do is, just to make it look a little better, I'm going to go ahead and create a pixel layer over here, and when I create that pixel layer, I'm going to go ahead and set up a brush and do some brush strokes, sprays and splatters. Let's see, I'll pick up maybe one of these here, and I'm going to select my brush tool, and we're going to go ahead and see what color we're working with here. We're working with this yellow. Maybe I'll work with the darker yellow for down here. So I got my brush selected, I'm on the pixel layer, and I have a brush stroke here, and we're just going to, I thought we were. Let's see what brushes we have selected. Oh, I probably got a really tiny brush. I don't think it's that tiny. Let's see. Why don't I see my layer? My brushes. Pixel layer. I'm not seeing anything drawing. Why not? Let's go back to the pixel layer here. And I need to figure out what I'm doing. Brush stroke. Maybe we'll make a bigger brush stroke. We'll come over here and do our brush. There we go. Alright, I don't know what I was doing, but I'm going to reduce my brush a little bit here. Not quite that much. And let's see. There we go. We're going to kind of get rid of this line and kind of fade that in down there, so it doesn't look so harsh. Alright, so let's see. Color that in some more. Alright, I think I got it colored enough in. I'm going to go back to my Affinity Designer and I'm going to pull this down here. And we're going to leave it like that. Not the best, but it's a little better. And I am actually going to take this rectangle and I'm going to leave it alone. I was going to do a gradient fade, but I think I'm going to just leave it alone. Alright, so that's one slice that I have there. And now I'm going to do another file in place. We're going to bring in Kobe. And see how this works. See if I can stretch him a little without doing too much damage. See what he looks like inside the slice. Not too bad. I want to kind of get him in the middle here. That image does look a little dark, and even this image looks a little dark. So I'm going to highlight LeBron, and I'm going to go down here to my adjustments, and I'm going to go to my brightness, and I am going to brighten him up just a little bit. Not too much, but just a little bit. And I am going to go here and do the same. I'm going to expand the Kobe slice. Click on the Kobe image. I'm going to go down to adjustments. And I'm going to go to my brightness and contrast. And I'm going to brighten Kobe up some. Alright. So now I am going to do the same thing I did before. I'm going to click on this triangle or rectangle. Sorry. I'm going to do a copy and I'm going to do a paste, and I am going to actually have to change the color of this. So I'm going to pick this up and get the color outside of Kobe, which seems to be black. And we're going to set this to black and we're going to actually move it inside of here. And then I'm going to do the same thing for the bottom here that I did for Kobe. I'm going to paste this in again. And I actually am going to, I can see now that I've lightened LeBron, I can see that this rectangle is not the right color. So we're going to come over here, pick this up, pick up the blue. And we're going to switch that to that blue color. There we go. Let's see. You can actually, see the line there. So we're going to right click and we're going to arrange. We're going to move this back one and let that be on top there. That's fine. Alright, so now we're back over here and I'm going to highlight which rectangle? am I looking for? The last rectangle. We're going to make it this blue color here, if I can find it. And I'm going to put it under here, and I think I'm gonna just put some black over it. So I'm gonna go and create another pixel layer here. Over the pixel, I'm gonna create a pixel layer, and my brushes are already here. We're gonna highlight that brush, highlight my brush tool, and my color for this brush is going to be black, or this dark blue, or whatever color it is, just to give it some color. So here we are, 200. I might want to knock this down to like 100 something. That's fine. Make sure our brush is selected again still. We'll use this brush, and I don't know what I'd be doing. Alright, I gotta select everything over again. Persona, brush, colors are fine, brush is fine. Maybe I couldn't see that brush. I'm gonna click off the brush, click on it again. Why? Oh, I guess it is right. I just couldn't see it. I just want to get rid of that line so you can't see it. Alright, so now I'm going to come back here to Affinity Designer, and I'm going to put it within my slice, and there we go. Alright, so now that I have these two images done, because I'm doing them on printable or heat transfer paper, I don't have to reverse the image. I just need to print it out. So I'm going to go over here and put my 11 by 17 paper. Did I do this 11 by 17 or did it 13 by 19? I did it 13 by 19. Oh no, this is 11 by 17. So I'm going to go over here and put my 11 by 17 paper in the printer and print these out. I will be back. So I have printed out the images. Again, I used an Epson 1600. This is 11 by 17. This is 3G Jet Opaque paper. So let me, I can pull it out and show you what I'm using. Ow! That's hot, sorry. 3G Jet Opaque paper. Hopefully I can switch this around when I show it to you. But I am going to be using my Cricut Easy Press Mini, and we're going to put these images using the heat transfer paper onto the basketball. But first I'm going to cut them out, and once I cut them out, I'll be back. So I cut around the images. I have a Cricut, I don't have a Cameo, so you know, with Cricut we're limited, or else I would have did a print and cut, but this was too large to do a print and cut, so I just cut it by hand. I'm gonna have to trim it with an X-Acto knife once I get done anyway, to make sure that it totally fits the slice. So what I'm doing now is I'm taking the image off the back of the paper, and I'm now going to fit it on the basketball. So what's going to happen is this image is going to fit here, and then I'm going to trim around it to make sure that I can I fit it on here. So what I'm going to do now is I'm going to start with the Easy Press and slowly work my way on it. Not leaving it on there too long because I don't want to burst the basketball, but I'm going to get out a piece of Actually, let me go get a smaller piece of parchment. So actually, because of the way I am, I'm going to start at this end and work my way to the other end. So as you can see, I'm going to start up here and work my way down. So see if I can position so you can see me. And I'm going to put this here. Make sure it's in the right place. And I'm just going to slowly start working my way. To put this on here. I'm not going to let it sit there too long, but just put it there for a minute because I want to burst the basketball. And as we can see, image is starting to be put down there. So just to make sure that I'm going in the right direction, and I need to make sure that I fit it on the ball, I'm going to hold that in and I'm just going to press it, start pressing down the basketball. I'm pressing it on, not letting it set too long. As you can see, the image is starting to conform to the basketball. So I don't want to burst it, so I'm not hitting it there too long, but it's starting to conform. Hopefully we'll be able to work out any kind of stretching it with my hand down here, so that I can work out any wrinkles I might have. But I'm kind of going from the middle out just to get it laid down here. Going from the middle out. And you do have to be careful when doing this so that you don't get those wrinkles in there. Might have to hit some of these places with heat again, but I'm going to do this slice. As you can see, I'm working down the slice. Working down the slice. This piece right up here has a few wrinkles in it, so I'm just going to hit it again with the easy press. Get some of those wrinkles out. And we're going to go down if I can. As you can see, this image is starting to conform to the basketball. So let's see. Pull it a little bit here. Okay. I gotta pull that a little bit because it's and let's smooth this out a little bit down here and over here. Smooth wrinkles out. Now the pieces that are in the seam, I'm going to eventually go ahead and get those out of there with the X-Acto knife. Let's see. And I don't let it stay on there long. As I mentioned, I'm not trying to burst my basketball. As you can see, starting to conform to it. And I'm going to have to pull this over just a little bit to make sure we get that in the right place. So, get this all smoothed down. I don't know why, I just wanted to do this project. I thought it was so cool, and I think it's really cool for a gift for a young man, a keepsake, for especially if they're a basketball player. You can actually take their portraits and put them on there. Thought it was really cool. So I'm gonna make sure I got this down pretty good in all the spots, and then I'm gonna take out my X-Acto knife and start taking some of these pieces up that I don't necessarily want down there, and then I'll do a final press. So we're gonna press that there and get all of our wrinkles out, and then we're going to I'm going to trim it right now and do a final press after the trim. And then I'm going to get that other piece on, and then I'm going to show you all the next step, which is sealing it. So I'm going to trim it now, and I'll show you what it looks like once I've gotten it all trimmed. So what I'm doing now is I have my nips that I use with my quilting, but the edge is curved, so it allows me to go and get pretty close to the edge here, and I'm going through and I'm cutting around the seam of the basketball to cut this excess off. So all I'm doing is going through and cutting so that you can still see the seam. Of the basketball. And I'm going to go ahead and cut around the entire seam of this and come back. So I have put the Kobe piece on. As you can see, the LeBron piece and the Kobe piece are on there. I'm getting ready to just clean up the Kobe piece now. So again, I have my trusty snips so I don't make a mistake and snip into the basketball. And so I'm just gonna go across here and snip, and I'm gonna come back and I'm gonna lay that down with the press, but I just want to get the extras off now. But as you can see, all I'm doing is just going around with my snips as close as I can. I'm not the most precise cutter, but trying to use the basketball as a guide here and use the edge as a guide and go around and just snip this off. After I get done with this, I am then going to seal it, and I'll come back and show that process. So I brushed on some Deco Art Triple Thick to give it a gloss and to kind of like seal it. And now we are just waiting on it to dry. All I did was put it in a paper plate, got a brush, poured some of the Deco Art Triple Thick in the plate, and just brushed it on. That's all I did. So now I am Going to wait for it to dry. And that's pretty much it. I'm going to finish it off and I will post the finished product. Again, great gift for the basketball player in your life, the young basketball player. I've even seen people do one with the rhinestone, for a girl with rhinestones down in between the, I just put my hand in the triple thing, rhinestones down through the seams. So lots of things that can be done with this, but I thought it was pretty cool. And it was something that I wanted to see how it worked. Until next time, happy crafting. If you like this video and would like to see more, please subscribe to our YouTube channel, The Craft Divas. You can also visit us on our Facebook page, The Craft Divas, and check out our Facebook group, Crafting with the Craft Divas. Lastly, be sure to follow us on Instagram at The Craft Divas.